Hey guys, it's Vaughn and I'm here with my sis Alex. I'm going to be doing her braids today. I'm really excited. This is my first time doing knotless braids on someone other than myself. But anyway, this is me looking a hot mess, but braiding hair today. We're not going to focus on that. We are focusing on Alex today. My setup is exactly the same as though I was braiding my own hair. I have my braiding hair all laid out and available, and I have all of my products at arm's reach. I like to start on clean hair and use a moisturizing cream or leave-in conditioner. This is my favorite edge tamer, this touchdown, so I'm definitely going to be using that. And my sister wanted me to try this shine and gem on her hair, so this is what I'm going to be using for her. I have my feed-in sections laid out and organized by the threes. I have a chair for Alex to sit in, and then I have my daughter over here playing with my phone. So here's the hair we're using today. It's a Spectra hair. So much hair in this pack, you guys. We only used one. It's 26 inches, 1B, pre-stretched, and has a hot water setting. I feel like this hair is really good for beginners because it's tangle-free. I got on my comfy, cushiony slides, so I am ready to get started. Alex got her tea and her phone, so let's go ahead and get into it. Oh, really quick, the current state of her hair. So it's freshly washed and she did apply a leave-in conditioner, but other than that, the hair has not been blow dried or anything. We're just gonna braid it in its natural state. The first thing that I'm gonna do is take all of the braids down, get all of the hair nice and loose so that I can get started with my parts. The parts are the thing that takes the longest, even more so than the actual braiding. So I take my time to make sure that they're nice and straight, because once you do them, you can't really do it over once you've started braiding. And honestly, the parts really make a difference in how neat the braids end up looking in the end. So I do take some time to make sure that it's perfectly straight, while at the same time balancing the reality that nothing is ever going to be perfect, but you can certainly try. So I like to start off with parting down the center and then taking the two ends on the sides and splitting those in half. That's just my way of keeping this thing even as much as possible. For some reason, that first row of braids always takes me the longest to part. I don't know why, maybe psychological. But anyway, I'm going in with some of that shine and jam just at her roots, just to really make it look laid and sleek. I'm starting off with the 3 strands because I'm going to approach this as though I'm about to start braiding her hair all the way down, but I'm only going to do one rhythm of a braid, if that makes sense. Then I'm going to stop and apply a loop of that braiding hair onto my index finger. And then I'm going to do another rhythm of braiding. Once that index finger pops out again, I'm going to apply another loop of braiding hair onto that. I always say knowing how to cornrow is definitely an advantage. There goes that index finger again, popping out. Once that happens, I'm going to apply my third and final loop of braiding hair onto there, because I'm only doing 3. Some people like to do more, some people like to do less. Some people like to do more rhythms of braiding before they actually start adding any hair. I like doing it this way. I found after doing my hair with these braids a couple of times that I really like the way that this method turns out in terms of having a nice dense thick braid all the way down to the ends, nice and even. So I just continued with this method for my sister's hair. After I did the first braid though, I went ahead and had her look in the mirror just to make sure that this was the thickness and everything that she wanted. And to be honest with you guys, she actually wanted the braids to be a little bit smaller. So we went ahead and took that braid down and attempted it a second time with less feed-in sections, and we also made the parts a little bit closer together, and she liked it better this way. So we did end up doing that braid over to make it a little smaller. To clarify, I'm still using 3 sections of feed-in hair. They're just smaller sections, so I'm just using a little less hair. And as you can see, it looks pretty good. This is kind of the thickness that she wanted. She wants her braids to be kind of close together and filled in nicely, but she wants them to remain super lightweight. As we start working our way up with those parted sections, it just gets easier. I don't know why that first row just takes up so much time. I guess because it's the foundation row or something, I don't know. But at this point, I just kind of start zooming through the rest of this, using the same parting methods and trying to keep all the parts straight and taking my time applying that edge product to the base of every braid and using those 3 feed-in sections. I just wanted to quickly add that the braiding is not all technical. There is some of this that requires a little bit of an artistic eye. When you are doing your feed-in sections, you do have to make sure that that braid is staying straight looking, that it's making sense, that you don't have any clumped areas or parts of the hair where there is knots a little bit showing, because if there is, you have to just kind of go in and smooth those out. So every braid is not going to just automatically be flawless. There are things you need to do to make sure it looks good. For example, here, with blending her hair into the braiding hair, I didn't have much issue with that, but if I did have areas where the braids needed to be smoothed down, I just used my fine-tooth comb, combed it through, and continued braiding, and that helped me a lot with concealing her real hair into the braiding hair. So yeah, like me, my sister has type 4 hair, which I think is the best texture for any type of braids. It blends in so well, and I think this hair we got was perfect for her. I honestly just lay all of my feed-in sections onto towels on the backs of these chairs. I haven't really had an urge to buy a thread spool holder. I don't know. This method has been working just fine for me, and I'm only refilling it like maybe every 30 minutes, and I'm laying them out by the threes, so it's easy to get like 4 or 5 braids done with just this one set of feed-in hair that's laid out. And I pretty much use the same method when I'm doing my own feed-in braids, and I actually have a video. If you guys have not seen it, I will link it down below, where I showed you guys a kind of step-by-step of me doing my own knotless feed-in braids, and that was actually my first time learning the process and attempting it on my own head. So if you guys want to check out that video, I will link it for you. The takedown is just as important as the installation, so I also have a video talking about how you should take down your feed-in braids, so I'll link that one as well. Now here is how I'm finishing off the braids in the front. I am using the same braiding method as before, but I'm just taking extra care to be gentle on her edges, but also making sure to really, you know, pull those hairs in and try and get them as taut as possible, because those edges are really gonna be indicative of how attractive and neat your braids end up coming out. So I definitely want to try my best to really lay those edges and get them nicely into the braids so that they don't look loose and raggedy, you know, right in the beginning. At this point, we're pretty much all done, you guys. I braided her braids almost all the way to the ends, even though I don't normally do that when I do my own hair, but they still were coming apart in some areas, so I'm just taking some time to re-braid them all the way down to the ends so that I can go ahead and dip these babies in some hot water. I know a lot of times with my experience using the cheaper hair, the water needs to really be raging in a boil, so I am just having her stand right over the stove, right into this pot. We were very careful, don't worry, no one was harmed during the making of this video, but I really wanted the braids to set, and I didn't want the drama of having to re-dip them over and over again to get them to set. But this worked out pretty good, and her ends are sealed to the T. So now let's hear what Alex has to say.
Hey guys, it's Alex here, and I'm super excited to let you guys know how much I'm loving these knotless braids Vaughn just did for me. I love the length of them. They're kind of mid-back length versus kind of like the thigh length that's trending right now. They're super lightweight, so I can do buns. I can do all sorts of things. I love the way she parted them, so I can do up styles, side styles, whatever. I've never had knotless before, so this is my first time kind of going through this process, and I really like how natural they look. They look like they're coming right out of your scalp, so super cute. Definitely recommend. They're new right now, but I'm actually looking forward to when they get a little bit more fuzzy, just because I love that sort of natural look. Like I think eventually I'll probably get locks or something, but I am looking forward to kind of the old braid look.
Yes, it's definitely. That's one of the main reasons that I love the knotless braiding method for box braids, because it does look so natural right at the root. But also there are two main reasons why I really prefer this method, you guys. And the first one is that you don't get any of that soreness that you would get with knot braids, right? So there's not that 2 to 3 day period where you're trying to get over kind of this sore scalp situation. Your braids are immediately like feeling like just like regular plaits. Also, I really love how when the braids do start to age a little bit, we're being silly, don't mind us. She was so excited about her braids, but when we get this, you know, the braids start to get a little bit older and they start to age, they look cuter almost when they start to do that. Whereas with braids with the knot, when they start to grow out, I mean, you can really tell that the braids are getting old. So this method lasts for a while, and the maintenance of it is not as strict and obvious as with other methods. I really think that the knotless method is not overrated. It's not overhyped. It actually is pretty cool. So we have one more step to this process, and I'm gonna have my sis explain it.
All right, sis. So the braiding is done, but the beautification process is not. So I'm gonna be laying my edges down using some edge control, a small brush, just to make sure everything is laid. I'm gonna be using my scarf, my silk scarf, to kind of set everything in place, and my edges will be on fleek. So yeah, thank you so much, sis. I love my braids. A reminder to keep it cute, even though we're in quarantine right now. You guys can do protective styles and have fun during this time.
So from both of us, we want to thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time.